Today we're going to have a review of the Vostok Komandirskie Operation Desert Shield. In 1965, when Komandirskies appeared, it was purely a military field watch that was not sold to the public. It was only available to military corps, and later on there were a lot of civilian versions to follow. Through the years, Komandirskie and also Amphibian has a lot of commemorated dials from numerous events. It could be a war victory like here, or in the Olympics, treaty between countries, new Soviet president, and a lot of different type of dials. In 1991, an American businessman, Bruce Erickson, has the idea to produce watches to commemorate the US military action in Iraq, the Operation Desert Shield. And he chose the Vostok brand as it was a military watch. It was reliable, massive and rugged, as he said, and also he added that it was quite cheap. Bruce Erickson passed a deal with the director of Vostok factory in Christopol, and he ordered 2,000 Vostok amphibia watches to be supplied to the US military troops and 500 for the general public at a retail price of 149 USD. And the watch features this special dial, which is called Operation Desert Shield. As shown in the excellent article from Vintage Watch website, many versions followed, and some were Komandirskies. I will let the link into the description. And soon quantities were increased to 40,000 timepieces.
Let's try to date our model. I find this interesting piece on eBay. It has the same case, and it has this very interesting dial because it's dated. It's dated from 1991. And another very similar thing from our model is a case back. It has the same little bird case back with a rising sun, and it's also numbered, which is rare. And furthermore, it has the same movement, which is unmarked, as we can see here. So it has to do with the period, the fall of the Soviet Union, and they didn't want to mark anymore the movement with the SU for Soviet Union. So I think our watch is maybe not from 91, because 91 was the first batch of Operation Desert Shield watches, but maybe it's from 92, maybe from 93, sometime during this era.
Let's look at the movement, but first the case back is typical from Vostok Komandirskie. It's in two parts. You have the ring here, which is screwed, and it's pushing on the back case, which is itself pushing on the O-ring just here. So the movement is not signed, and it's the typical 2414, which is still used today in Komandirskies. So it has 18,000 beats per hour, and it's 18 joules movement. We'll see it has no hacking, but it's shock resistance, as we can see here, with a power reserve of 37 hours. What is good with this kind of movement is that it's very cheap to replace. So if something happened, or even if you maybe need to service it, it's better sometimes to just replace the movement. So let's start the movement. Let's have a look at the case. So it's reference number 33, and as you can see, it has a very special feature, is the crown at 2 o'clock. Also, it's a kind of cushion case style, which is quite large for a Komandirskie. If we compare to a regular model, this one, which is a smaller diameter case, so this one is 39 millimeters in diameter. The lug to lug are short because it's only 43.8 millimeters, and the thickness is 10.8 millimeters, which is also quite thin. It's also due to the movement, and that is mechanical, it's not an automatic watch. And the lug to lug opening is 18 millimeters, and this is regular for all the Komandirskies. The weight with this thick nylon strap is 66 grams. What makes this watch very special is, of course, this Operation Desert Shield dial, with in the center the American flag, the Saudi Arabia emblem also, which consists of the green palm tree at top. Then we have the two crossword in the bottom. We also have the B of Vostok here, and so Operation Desert Shield inside a first cycle. In the second cycle we have the Arabic numeral, and we have the date window here at 3 o'clock, and minute indices in the outside part of the dial. Also, each 5 minutes we have loomed indices, and they actually still work despite the age of the watch. We have, after, this typical bezel, which is bidirectional, but here unfortunately there is no marking beside this red and green and black dot, so it makes also timing something quite difficult. I would have preferred to have numerals on the bezel. The crown is the big one, and it's screw down crown. It's not stamped. If we look at the hands, so they are the typical, again, hands of Komandirskies, but instead of being gold or silver, here they are in black with loom inside, and the second hand is red, as in most of Komandirskie's watches. And here is a close-up on the dial. Let's also have a close-up on the back of the case. So it's this typical small bird case with a rising sun. So different from this one, which is called the big bird. So it's different case back. This one is an earlier version of the case back. And this one, as you can see, is numbered. It's quite rare, I think, to have the number here. And also it's written in Cyrillic, water resistant, and I have read somewhere that this one was not rated 30 meters but 50 meters, thanks to the typical Komandirskie back case, which gives the water resistant and also the screw down crown. And if we compare this Vostok with a third generation amphibia, we can see that it's not really smaller. It has shorter lugs to lug distance, but besides that, it's quite a massive watch compared to regular Komandirskies. Let's put it on my wrist. to see how it fits. Actually, I really like this model because with the crown at 2 o'clock, it's really what we can call a conversation piece, especially also with this dial that today could not happen anymore, to have a Russian watch with a US flag to commemorate a US victory in the Middle East. I don't think it would be possible to do this kind of collaboration again. Usually, if you want to buy a Vostok, you go to the Meranon website, and they have hundreds of models. But in Komandirskie Classic, the dial is not shown anymore. I don't know why. Even in the model out of stock, we don't find it. But it's possible to find it in the Amphibian Classic, but it's also out of stock. So you have to go to other website, and actually this one is a very good one. It's an online web shop from the factory, so it's even cheaper. So you don't find a Komandirskie there, but there is an Amphibia with a small case here, and so it's available for the moment. If you want to see more free content, please put a thumbs up. It supports the channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new content, and see you soon. Bye bye.